Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make R&B chord progressions that sound soulful. So the problem is most tutorials you find on YouTube, they're very vague and they just have general seventh chords and they just say seventh chords are the solution for R&B. But I learned this from MG the Future, so shout out to MG the Future. It's the use of the sixth chord, so that's the key. So we're going to hop into the DAW. If you don't know me, I'm Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. We've trained over 800,000 producers around the world. Some have gone to work with Drake, Kanye West, Post Malone, Ray Shremmerd, Ariana Grande, French Montana. I said Post Malone already. NBA Youngboy. I'm trying to think of all the people. And a lot of Billboard charting artists. So I'm going to show you techniques that you can use with like the pros. Okay, so let's hop into the DAW. And smooth little transition. So the key here is sixth chords and seventh chords. Like 4-note chords are usually your key. So what we'll do is we're gonna play. Now also we're playing with a guitar. Guitar is kind of like an ubiquitous R&B sound. So we're just gonna go play a seventh chord. If you don't know what a seventh chord is, all good. We teach all this stuff in our free music theory series. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory. Okay, so now what I'm gonna show you is how to play your chords. So we're just going to play it one note at a time. So it's C, E, G, B if you want to follow along. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit slower than usual, just so you could hear the notes. So we're going to go from C major 7, and then we're going to play a sixth chord starting at D. So a sixth chord, to make it super easy, you're adding the sixth of the scale over a major chord. So I know that sounds complicated, but once you get in the habit of our chord codes that we teach, it'll be super simple. So there's a chord code for it as well. You can get the chord code chart for free. Just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory. Now let's play D major. Okay, so let's do D. And I'm going to copy this just to keep it super simple. Transpose it up to D. Then now the only difference is that instead of playing the seventh, we're going to play the sixth of the scale. Whoops. And it allows you to keep the same top tone moving from chord to chord. And that's in my opinion, the R&B sound, is that we're keeping this top tone, but we're changing the chord underneath, the harmonization underneath. And if you want to triple check it, you could always go to your chord stamps, go to a sixth chord. There's different types of sixth chords. You have the sixth chord, then you have a minor sixth is an option, but I like the regular sixth chord. And again, it's a major root. So for those who follow our chord code system, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a major chord. Okay, that's a 0, 4, 7. That's always major, and then 8, 9. So you're just adding that 9 in there. I teach how 3, 6, and 9 are extremely special in music. Okay, so let us, and that's how we get that tense sound, because we're keeping the same top note. And then you could just strum the same notes out. Now it's up to you. I would like to switch. So let's go to A minor. Okay, now let's switch it, and let's just transpose, see what it sounds like. Doesn't sound too good in this going down, okay, but I would probably keep it, in my opinion, to C major. Let's let this ride. Okay, so what you could do is hit shift up or shift down. And again, the R&B sound is also the sliding of notes going from one note directly up. I call it slide notes instead of the glissando. You could call it some fancy name if you want. For me, it's just easier to understand as a slide note. Now, in my opinion, my favorite chord to create turnarounds. Now, this is just a bonus for the video since you stuck around this long. So if you could, smash the like button. But also, a turnaround chord is very important in R&B. This is when you usually go outside of the scale and use a borrowed chord to make your chord sound really lush. And there's another thing we could do too called chord voicing and inversions. But we teach all this stuff in our music theory essentials. So just go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory essentials. You'll find the full course package called our music theory course package. And that's where we explain all the detail of all this stuff. chord inversions, voicing, different things. So now what I'm going to do is add our borrowed chord at the very end. So borrowed chord, an easy one that I like is just counting the 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And let's add another one. I believe this is our tritone when we have the 4 notes in here. Trichord. Yeah, it's our trichord. Okay, so it's when we have 4 notes all spread apart by 3 semitones. You don't need to memorize that. Just count the 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it creates a nice tension to your chord progression. And remember, they all have the same top note. It takes us out of the key and then it brings us back in in a nice way, very gracefully. Down, down, hey, so tell me what you mean, May. Tell me that you love me, but you don't ways. I'm the so what you think, I've been on the road now, just so I can tell you what for enough for me. And I'll make it up days, just roll the days. So if you wanna ride with me, I tell you maybe. So that's how you can have a flow and make it feel like it's going somewhere, but have it repeat. R&B is probably the best genre for chord changes, and jazz, of course, but I like R&B stuff. So I'll keep it simple. Smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're new. It's Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. Oh wait, hold on, my button didn't work. So it's Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. Peace.